What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Midseason Review Show, where we're going to be going through 32 teams in 32 episodes. We're going to have a little power rankings talk, maybe a little Madden talk, but it's mostly going to be film review, what I've seen from your team this year, and what I expect going forward. Starting here, living in Minnesota, fitting, we're going to start with the Minnesota Vikings. They're my number 13 team in my power rankings, which is way lower than most people. This team's been getting a ton of hype this year, and this kind of downslide from them is something that personally I have totally seen coming. That O-line is so bad, you kind of know if you're going against any kind of team with an edge rush against that Minnesota O-line with those tackles, it's going to be a tough matchup, and it's going to be hard for this Vikings offense that I think is the worst offense in the league to score. And just to back that up a little bit, they are by far the worst team in the league at running the ball, 2.7 yards per carry. And to put that in perspective, that's half a yard less than the 31st team, the Los Angeles Rams, and that is over half what Buffalo is averaging. Buffalo's averaging 5.5 yards per carry, and their offense isn't even that great. So seriously, this Vikings team is spiraling downhill right now. On the bright side, they have a great young defense. Some guys that I've really, really liked. Eric Kendricks is just turning into a stud, superstar middle linebacker. Everson Griffin is awesome. They got Danielle Hunter starting to rotate in that pass rush. He looks great. Harrison Smith, Xavier Rhodes doing well. Although with Rhodes, he was voted defensive MVP by ESPN for the midseason. I don't agree with that. I think he's playing behind a great pass rush. He's a good, solid corner that is going to do well with that defense. Good player, not a defensive MVP. And then another bright side is Mike Zimmer is just fantastic. This guy is probably a top 5 coach in the NFL. And that is what partially makes me believe they could turn this thing around. But we just got news of Norv Turner resigning, and it's just going to be interesting to see what happens with this offense. Because, like I said, I think it's the worst offense in the league. They're going to have a hard time scoring points. We're talking they're going to have to be winning games 13-10, maybe 17-10 if they get a defensive touchdown, but just not being able to move the ball at all. And then looking forward, I have them as my 13th team, and we're going to start talking playoffs. And a lot of people are saying the Vikings are a lock. They're still going to win the division. The Packers and Lions are reeling. And I just don't agree with that. This team is going to have to go 5-4 to go 10-6 on the year. And with the way they're playing, they just lost to a Bears team that is kind of a laughing stock of the league right now. This is a team that people were saying is a Band-Aid. You play the Bears to cure your ailments, and they just got blown out by this team. So the Vikings are going to have to go 5-4 if they want to get to 10-6. I don't see the Packers doing any worse than that. So I don't think this Vikings team can go 5-4 at this point. Like I said, they're going to have to get defensive touchdowns, and their defense is great, but it's just not looking great. Their schedule's not the easiest coming up. So right now, I don't have the Vikings making the playoffs. And I think the only way this turns around is if Zimmer can rally that offense and get that offensive line to have a little bit of punch. So that's all I'm going to say about the Vikings. Next, we're going to talk about the Packers.